Hello everyone. We're going to go through a quick example here of how we could use Microsoft Access 2013 to create some SQL. And in this particular example, we're going to create a simple select statement that demonstrates the use of an implicit join. We have two types of joins that are out there, implicit and explicit. So first of all, we want to understand the objects that we're going to be working with, and Access provides that through the Database Tools option. If I select Relationships, it's going to show a graphical representation of all the entities within our database, or all the tables within our database. So here we are, 5 tables connected, which are relationships. So the first query that we're going to create here is going to be a query that retrieves the warehouse city from the warehouse table and the SKU description from the inventory table. To do that, we're going to create a query, click on our SQL, and for sake of time, I've already prepared the select statement, and it looks like this. So I'm going to select the warehouse city and the SKU description. One of the things that you might want to get in the habit of doing is when you're writing your select statements is to qualify each column with the table name. So in this naming convention, it's followed as table name dot column name. The reason why we do this is to avoid this always popular error that says column ambiguously defined. So if we don't qualify it with the table name, sometimes the database doesn't, or the database doesn't understand which column you're asking for. So in the from statement, we specify the 2 tables where we're pulling it from, and then in the where clause, well, that's really where all the action happens. This is known as an implicit select statement, or an implicit join. Notice that it's a join between 2 fields that are keys. And if I notice this here, I have warehouse ID and warehouse ID. Well, I know from the design of this particular database, warehouse ID in the warehouse table is a primary key that uniquely identifies each record. However, in the inventory table here, I could start to see that it is also a primary key. But for this relationship to exist, it's actually being used as the foreign key. And then we make that connection here. Warehouse.warehouse ID, which is the primary key, is equal to the inventory.warehouse ID, which is actually the foreign key. This is also known as an Equijoin, and it makes use of the equal sign. So now when I run this query, I see that I get the data from those 2 tables. What if I need to pull in a 3rd table? Notice that in my relations here, I have a relationship to SKU data. So I want to also display SKU data department. First thing I'm going to do is add a 3rd column from the SKU data table called department. And then I'm going to also add that 3rd table to my from clause. And last but not least, I have to add the join. And this particular join will go from where inventory SKU to SKU data SKU. There we go. There is a simple way to remember this. Note that I have 2 join statements here, but 3 tables. The formula is n minus 1, where n is the total number of tables, and n minus 1 is 2, which is the number of join statements we have. I'm going to run this, and now I have the data coming from my 3 tables. So that's a demonstration of a simple select statement using an implicit join.